So you're here because you're ready to get the mental edge, the winner's edge. How important is the mental edge? Well, here's a little anecdote, a little brief story. We can all agree that Rafael Nadal is the king of clay, right? He's won the French Open a record 14 times. He's won 97% of his matches there. He's only had 3 losses, right? These are unbelievable stats, right? He is the king of Roland Garros, the king of clay. However, he only won 52% of all points that he played. Think about that. Think about those margins and how thin they are, right? We have somebody that has absolutely dominated the surface, but he's only winning 52% of the points, and he's getting those kind of stat lines. So let's talk about how we become mentally tough. And these are things that Rafa does that you can emulate as well. First up is number 1, make your opponent beat you early. When we come out on the tennis court, too often we're trying to fire on all cylinders, we're trying to connect all the kinds of weapons. Sometimes we're playing outside of our ability, or we're simply just kind of pushing and trying not to lose. What we want to do is go out and play with controlled aggression, playing at about 70%, swinging through the ball, but not going through big targets, and allowing your opponent to try to figure out how to beat you. Maybe they're going to do the same things to where they're forcing plays. They're trying to play outside of their ability, they're trying to fire on all cylinders, and they're gonna make mistakes early. If they make mistakes early because you're playing the long game, you're staying steady, you're gonna get confidence. As they make mistakes, you get confidence. What happens if you make mistakes? We lose confidence, right? So number 1 is making sure that you come out and you don't beat yourself early. You make sure your opponent has to beat you early on. Play with depth, controlled aggression. And the second tip is making sure you play really hard from behind. All the GOATs have this in common, but recently Andy Roddick said this about Rafael Nadal in the sense that regardless of what lead he had, he could be up 40-love in a game, and he always felt like there was a threat that he was going to get broken because Rafa was going to play that hard on each and every single point. It's a mindset shift, all right? So maybe you're going to lose the set. Maybe that is, you're down 5-1. But what happens is that if you can just keep clawing back, there's a shift in pressure, right? If you can get a couple games, couple points, suddenly the opponent starts feeling like they have to do more to put you away. That's great, because what we want them is playing outside of the margins. We want them trying to do more. So you've got to keep fighting in order to get that mindset shift and get the advantage in your favor. And that brings us to step number 3. When you're playing with a lead, don't get creative. It's the number 1 thing that I see with juniors. They're up 5-2. Here comes the drop shots. Ooh, there's a tweener. Now they're trying to hit backhand down the line winners. When you're leading, you want to keep doing what you did in order to get the lead, all right? So if it means that you're putting pressure on your opponent, maybe taking the ball early, you should keep doing that. If you're playing really good defense and you're playing high to the opponent's backhand, you should keep doing that. The only time that there might be a tactical shift is if you're playing outside of your normal play, you're serving at a ridiculous serve percentage, and you want to start backing that up with other game plans. But you shouldn't just change it until someone forces you to change it or you feel that it's slipping. So maybe I've missed 3 first serves in a row. I want to start working more on the kicker for the first serve so that I'm not, again, outside of the margins for error. But don't get overly creative when you're playing with the lead. I mean it. All right, number 4, and this is probably the most important, is that when it is close, rely on your patterns. 52% of points won at the French Open by Rafael Nadal is what gave him 14 Grand Slam trophies, okay? These patterns, you got to stay with them and give yourself the best chance of executing. So for instance, Roger Federer on the deuce court, 73% of the time serves wide, slices wide, pulls the opponent off the court, and opens up for the third ball, all right? Regardless if it's match point, deuce for the 100th time, he's going to lean on this because it's his best pattern. Lean on these patterns. Keep doing what you do well to win the close games and ultimately a match. All right, I really hope this helps a ton. The winner's edge, the mental edge is absolutely everything. So give these a try. Next time you're in a match, start focusing on some of these ideas and let me know in the comments if they help. If you're looking for a match, check out PlayYourCourt.com. It's what we do. I'll see you next time.